Hi, how's it going? Living in Boulder vlog. I I don't think I did I didn't do my video yesterday. I just when I feel overwhelmed by my work, I don't do the video. I felt a little bit overwhelmed, like I'm not making progress, although I am. It's just that when I find myself into something that's super time consuming. So the thing that I'm doing right now is I wanted to prepare Boulder County to be blank slate, to be able to build ancient Rome on top of Boulder County as a history lesson, and to make Boulder County an interesting place to adventure around. And in order to do that, I have to patch over evidence of roads and houses to make it look natural. So I was doing that, but then it became heavy because it was lots of images that I'm pasting. So I said, oh shit, I should make that its own file. So I made its own file, but then I realized, oh shit, when you do that, that makes the link, somehow it makes the link go away. So your images just turn into these X's. That's what happened with my Mountain Tapia. I moved all these images that I put over where I want them to go and turned into X's. Luckily, I could replace them because you see where the link is. So all you have to do is copy the link and then paste it up in the search, and boom, it's right there. Or go to the folder that it's in and re-click it, and it comes back. So, but it happened again because I made all those backgrounds. It was a whole bunch of them. It took me like an hour to retrace because I put it in a new folder, and then they turn X's. So I'm like, okay, cool. Well, let's just bring it back. So I bring it back, but they're still X's. Like it permanently screws it up. So I fixed that. It's its own file. It's called ground cover. But inside of that, I have my roads. And I'm curious, like if I put that ground cover inside of a bigger file, will it turn it into X's? If it does, it's not that big of a deal because I can just keep the original file, but I hope it doesn't turn the original file into X's just because I copied it and pasted it somewhere else. Duplicating it, because that'd be a major pain in the ass because there's lots of them. Anyway, that's two things that don't make any sense of ways that you can lose information on Google Earth that I've discovered that I have to steer clear of. I have to remember every time I use it. The other one is every time you X out of Google Earth, you have to X out of cut the file out first, because if you open Google Earth and it brings a file back, it'll bring an old version, not the current. Anyway, so the thing I'm doing now is, yesterday mainly, it wasn't even the patching, it was the roads. I wanted to get all the roads in Boulder County traced with a polygon tool, which I haven't done. I never got around to it. I did a lot of work already. I placed the towns and matched them and did the information on them and all the Strava and everything. But the Strava and all the routes, it was only done with the line tool. With the polygon tool. The polygon tool actually, when you cover the territory, especially like something as big as Boulder County, which is the same size as Kingdom of Rome, if you're zooming in and out a lot, you can see the thickness of the road come up on you and the trail, even when I make it accurate, which I pretty much am making it accurate, the same accuracy of width. And so, I have it hovered without touch the ground at 1 meter above. And I trace it. I keep my hand down and I trace it over so that none of it goes under. The other ones that I made, it was kind of like that, so I think I'll have to fix it. I can't click and then click up higher, because then if it's a meter high, because it connects directly, so then it goes underground, you can't see it, so you have to hold the finger down and then trace it. It looks better that way anyway, so I should have done the other ones that way. But so I'm building that, building all of that on Boulder County, which I've never done. I have the Strava. That's how I'm finding where the roads are. I'm looking at the roads, and the ones where I don't see the roads, I trace the Strava over through the trees, and I trace that Strava through the trees, not for getting another file, because the other websites, they have all these other files, but they're not KMZ. Nobody does KMZ for some reason. It's like people are trying to boycott Google Earth. So I have to trace everything myself I did download a bunch of stuff from this one website where it had a bunch of like all the hiking trails to Colorado. But I looked at what they had around here, and they didn't trace it to the detail that I need. It was kind of sloppy, like how my Strava was. So I'm looking at Strava, and I'm kind of tracing generally like Strava, but because I'm doing it with a great deal of detail now, with the proper width, I'm having to look at it and making sure that it's the same and coming back. So it's super time consuming and stressful because there's so many of them. Every single trail. I mean, not just the roads and the dirt roads and the trails, but even the little trails and the everything. And at their exact width, like a meter wide. So I have to go zoom in a lot. It just takes a long time. And I'm currently working on area around the Flatirons because there's lots of trails around there, and they're difficult because they're in the trees. You can't see anything because it's the trees make shadows, and then the trees, and you see a trail, and then 100 meters later you see a little bit of a trail, and so you have to guess where it goes through the trees. I should download everything from that file that I downloaded and just make sure some of them are good enough to trace off of. But I don't know. I just trace it myself. I think it's good enough. But it looks really cool because when you look at it, I have the lines. It's filled and outlined, so the outlines make it look like a trail when you're far away, and then you zoom in. The lines are crispy with the part on the inside, the color, and it's you can see the width, so it makes it look really small. Like as you're looking at a trail that goes around a mountain, you see the width of the trail. The width of the trail is pretty much 2 meters because I know that I made it like that wide. And so the width of the trail and, seeing at the same time, like in comparison with the length of it and the mountain, it makes it look really small. And understand the landscape more. You can even see the landscape go over and how steep it is from the shape. And so, yeah. I've just seen of anybody else who've done it and who's built trails with a polygon tool, but it's better that way. So anyways, I'm not on any time frame right now because it's so time consuming. I'm working hard. I'm making a dent every day. I'm making good progress, but it could be another few days. And then I have to do the patching. And I was thinking, what am I going to do when I'm making like ancient Rome on Boulder County? Because I have way too many trails. I have way more trails than they would have had. So I think I'm just going to do it scientifically, historically accurately. Just read and study hard and just accurately guess what the exact population of the Kingdom of Rome, that area, was at each year. And then just make it appropriate to that with my Boulder Rome thing and add the roads in appropriately, I think is what I'll do. And if I want to, because then I'm thinking, oh, no, then I'll have to patch the roads because I wasn't really patching roads before because I was using roads. Well, I could make the roads that I built the same color as the background that they're on and just call it a day. And then you get to see the roads too. So, yeah, so this is going to take a while, but once I'm done with this, I'm going to bounce. I'm going to go back to something. Maybe I'll retrace at the same order that I came in on, or maybe I'll just go somewhere else because I remember the order that I came in on. I'm doing Boulder Rome, but before that it was Mount Tapia. Before that it was actually a ski empire, but that's part of Mount Tapia. And before that it was personal stuff, but before that it was the animals habitat of the Rocky Mountain National Park, and before that it was the animals of Boulder County, and before that it was the history of Boulder County and the images and everything. So maybe I'll do that. I'll just do whatever's interesting. But yeah, I'm committed to working all year long on here. So if I'm committed to doing this all year long, and I'll be all right. I can do it all. There's not too much. It's not too much. By the end of the year, I might still be working, but I'll still be a lot farther ahead. I didn't go to the gym today. My mom was too busy, and I was too busy too. Anyways, let's keep this under 10 minutes. Talk to you tomorrow.